Yeah, please. The next two the presentations will be about data spaces, and if you look at the kind of really ambitious title, an integrated open source SaaS solution for implementing data spaces, I actually wondered what that would be, because data spaces of course are some decentralized things, usually a lot of different actors, and how to make that as a SaaS solution and totally integrated, please.
This is the clicker. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm Manuel Escuin, and
please introduce yourself here.
Yeah. I'm from Aire Networks. We started in Gaia-X when 2020 or something like that. We are participants in the first assembly of the Gaia-X, and in this way, we maintain some ideas about what is Gaia-X. Gaia-X is a process that can be implemented in real companies. It's not part of a specific technology that can be used in universities or in other places, okay? And the idea is very simple. The mission of Gaia-X is that, to make a federated open data infrastructure based in open values. It's an infrastructure, not only a specific software. It's really an ecosystem of the different parts that can be used as to design and implement data sharing architecture with a common standard. Perhaps later I can explain more about the standards and the possibilities that the Gaia standard can be ISO standards or something like that. And also there is implemented in a very specific ideas of anchor federation, okay? That is the photograph that starts really the process in 2022. Okay, until 2022 we haven't any kind of ideas of the approximation of the what could be, technically speaking, Gaia-X. And probably you recognize a lot of ideas that right now are part of the previous, for example, previous meeting. That is the compliance services, but this is just part of that. Okay, my idea is to try to explain you that this whole ecosystem that we need to have to implement all of ideas, all of parts of Gaia-X compliance. One of the biggest idea is the trust anchor, or the trust facilities, is just the lowest part of the graph. Okay, there is a lot of different issues that you must cover to put a real example of Gaia-X in place. Okay, and for reason, there are two main aspects that you must cover. One is the service offering. Really, from the point of view of a company, you offer a service. It's not a technology part, it's a whole part that a user, a normal user, can use in this way. And second is, what is the role? We divided the role in participants. Okay, the participant could be legal, or can be organization, can be particular persons. Okay, but the main aspect that Gaia develops, the real software that Gaia develops here, is that orange box. The rest of the services, the rest of the issues must be developed by you as a provider of a service. Okay, maintains that in your mind, because there is a lot of functions that you must cover. You must cover the infrastructure, the trust, the consumer, the provider, the federator, and at the end, the data intelligence. Okay? If you want to provide a solution in the market, you must cover all of them. And there are three main layers. One is the trust operational framework that is provided by the clearinghouse. We, as a Aire network, we are the first implementation in Spain of the clearinghouse and the second or the third in Europe. And we have a lot of experience to implementing that. And what is the real facilities, or what is the real functionalities that the clearinghouse provide you as a part of the service? The second is the data space, and the third, the data space must be federated. Normally, we represent that in this way, but it's not real. The federation must be the first step. You must federate your systems before you federate your solutions or your services. And also a very important issue is that you need to cover the functionalities, the governance, the attributes, the conformity, and the compliance. But remember that the only way that is important from the point of view of the market is the labeling. The rest is a technical issue. It's not important from the point of view of implementation of the real implementations. And the 4 levels of labeling, only the level 2 could be implemented in terms of competition. Level 3 is for a very, very big companies. And level 1 is not differentiation between one and other participant. Okay? If you are trying to put a solution in the market, you need to provide level 2 for that kind of solution. If we are using, I prefer to use the first definition of Gaia-X, that is that X with the services, because the marketing people really destroyed any kind of implementation in a blue X that is nothing. Okay, but there are 4 main issues. One is the federate catalog, the identity and trust, the sovereign data exchange, and the compliance. They are the main 4 aspects that are involved in a Gaia-X ecosystem solution. And from our point of view, the point of view of Aire, as a provider of services or a provider of systems, is that we can divide the system in 2 parts. One is the part that you need to implement as a physical aspect. And the second is to implement as a software system, more related with the data and the exploitation of the data. Okay? The main idea is that when we divided the platform, the data space platform is the control, governance, policy, and use. And second is ensures the compliance with the Gaia, as previously explained. And the second part is what is the way to implement a very federated physical system that can be used in Gaia system. And for this reason, we started a process that is an orchestrator that is not only an orchestrator for physical aspects or for infrastructural aspects. It covers more than that, okay? Manage all the functions related with the compliance management, the physical architecture that supports the data space. For example, when we are talking about the entities, you must cover not only the identities or the certificates, you must combine that with the physical implementation of your system, with the permissions of your system, really. Okay? The second is services. The services must be related between your physical system and the treehouse. And also the catalog of service, you need a holistic view of them. If you provide a system or a service, that provides data for a third party, you must combine not only the data that you are sending, you must combine the physical aspects of the sending of the data, from the physical layer, from the encryption of the data, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and that is we are based in a physical standard that is 27070, that is an ISO standard, because right now we haven't the new ISO standard. When we have a new standard, probably we change that. And from the point of view of the simplifying of the data space management, we are defining 3 layers of 3 real components. One is the consumer, the second is the provider, and the third is the federator. You must have one federation, one federator, and many providers or many consumers. Okay? Really, in the physical implementation, is probably can be a container. Really, we have two implementations. One is a container, and the other is a virtual machine. Okay, and there is you have a federator. The federator can provide all the tools that you need to manage federated services, including identity management, etc., etc. The second is a provider that is the organization or the people that provides you data. And in this term, they are other container, but all the functionalities that are needs to connect with your system, with the federator, can be implemented in that. One important issue is in the market, there are a lot of implementation about connectors. Okay, you heard, sure that you heard about firmware or other connectors. The real problem is that they cover one part of the system, but not all. It's not a holistic view from the point of view of the system. You need more parts, or you need more modules to complement that kind of connectors to be in a real approach for the solution. And the other part is the consumer. The consumer is more or less the provider, but in the sense that we have divided, because in marketing terms, one is the payment that one pays and the other obtains money, okay? But it's the main differentiation. What is our approach? We are trying to use, and trying is very important, to use different parts of the open systems. Really, the composability of that system is very difficult. If you try to obtain a very cheap way to implement, you have a lot of work trying to combine the different non-payment systems. We are testing probably 12 approaches with different set of products, and really one and a half works more or less properly. The rest are not working really. If you try to combine, for example, part of Simple, part of Gaia-X, etc., at the end it's not working really. Okay, you need a lot of work trying to provide this kind of real solution. Okay, we are integrated in Tagus version because it's the available from the first year really, and well, it's from our point of view, we think that it's not complex to improve to the system and Loire. Okay, that is only ideas that you need to provide if you are a data integration service, and we are open to provide different solutions for specialized systems or services. There are a lot of people that are working in a very integrated solutions for specific markets. For example, in Spain, there are a lot of experience in data spaces, more or less, based in particular solutions in the touristic area. Okay, they can. Our idea is we can implement that in our system, on top of our system. Okay, and you need more or less to cover the data preparation, the documentation, the standardization, and the data compatibility. In the other way, you need to provide a public or private cloud deployment. It's important that you don't forget that. You need a physical implementation. And the normal implementation in public clouds as Amazon or etc., probably you have a lot of problems trying to combine with the legal aspects in each country. Data lake and data mart, that is a very important issue from the point of view of the money. You need the first question. The first question for the people that ask you about the implementation is how many I can obtain from that. Okay, that is a very, very important issue. And also, you need to a dedicated infrastructure. It's our opinion. Okay, the traditional implementation in cloud is not working for this kind of very specific data. There are a lot of problems with the CEO of the company. You say, I need your key, I need your certificate, I need all access to your data, and say, okay, we finish that. More questions that you must implement in the federation service provider. All of these characteristics must be implemented in physical federator, in our point of view. We have done that in all of them. All of the solution is based in OpenStack. Okay, And for reason, some questions about, for example, the deploy virtual machine or the entity manager are combined with OpenStack, for example, the Keystone. Okay, that is the idea, because traditionally we are working in that environment. We must implement a solution that can be connected from Gaia-X perspective to the traditional approaches to the private cloud or something like that. Okay. The catalog is a very, very important issue. It's not covered in the Gaia-X clearinghouses. The catalog must be implemented for the service provider. That is a very, very important issue if you are thinking that the Gaia-X clearinghouse provides you a lot of functionality that provides only the trust, just that, okay? From the point of view of the infrastructure and tools, you need a provider participant, and the provider, you must to cover all of this solution, all of these aspects of the solution, okay? Not only the Gaia-X, but also other functionalities that must be implemented in that. And a very important issue, you need experts. You need people that understand properly that is an ecosystem, as an ecosystem is difficult, and it's difficult to integrate all the parts that combines that, okay? That is more or less the functionalities that you must ask for a space management service. We are doing that in a traditional way. We are using the traditional approach of monitors, etc. And the second is the governance, and very, very important issue is the implementation of the entity manager. For example, previously we are asking, some people ask about the X509. X509 is very important from the point of view of the clearinghouse, but not from the point of view of the user. From the point of view of the user, you can use a different certificate, okay? EIDAS certificate. Okay, in some cases there is some confusion about that. And just to define the tool that we have developed, we manage a hybrid digital infrastructure and services management. That includes not only the physical infrastructure, but also the services. The services are connected to the infrastructure. If you fail the infrastructure, probably the services are down or something like that, okay? And one important issue is that the federation must be combined in different parts. If you remember the traditional approach in layer, you can manage the layer 3, the IP layer, as a federator, or you can use the 7-layer application layer as a federator. From the point of view of Gaia, we are more in the 7-layer, but the real aspect is that you can combine the 3rd layer as a federator. The majority of the problems that you need to federate systems are related with the physical connection and the physical compatibility between the systems, not the keys that access the service, okay? And in this way, we are doing that. That is the real solution that is in the market, okay? You have standalone systems, you have probably enhanced regional systems, you have distributed cloud federation, and you need a tool to manage all the systems, but specifically two. One is how you distribute the charge of the loads of the system between different systems, okay? And the second is how are you combining all of them in the network, okay? That is the approach that we are doing. We are starting the test probably 3 or 4 months ago. The part of the orchestrator is very, very, very simple because we have the 6 or 7 version right now. We started in 209 or something like that. But in the other part is the new part that we are implemented as a platform. Okay? It's just that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Manuel, for that